We've all been there. You pick up your phone for just a second to check something, and suddenly 30 minutes have disappeared. Your kids are laughing in the other room, your partner is waiting to connect, or maybe the work you meant to finish is just sitting there and you're stuck scrolling endlessly, feeling that familiar guilt creep in. But what if I told you that your phone isn't the problem? What if I told you that high screen time could actually make your life better? Here's the truth. It's not about how much time you spend on your phone. It's about how you use it. And today I'm going to show you how to turn your screen time into a tool that helps you learn, grow, and connect like never before. We've all been told the same thing over and over. Screen time is bad, it's ruining our focus, and we need to cut it down. But what if I told you that advice might actually be wrong? The problem isn't how much time you're spending on your phone, it's how you're spending it. Think about it. Are you using it to grow, learn, and connect? Or is it just sucking up your time with endless scrolling? Here's the truth. Your phone can either be a distraction or one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. The key is to flip the way you think about screen time. When you use your phone to engage in meaningful activities like practicing mindfulness, learning a skill, or reconnecting with people you care about, it's not just productive, it's actually good for your mental health. Studies show that activities like these can reduce stress, improve focus, and even boost happiness. Your phone doesn't have to feel like a constant source of overwhelm. It can be a tool that supports your well-being when you use it with intention. So let me ask you this. What's the one thing your phone does for you right now that makes your life better? Maybe it's helping you stay connected to family. Maybe it's teaching you something new, or maybe you're still figuring that out, and that's okay. Once you start seeing your phone as an opportunity rather than a distraction, everything changes. It's not about cutting screen time, it's about making screen time count. All right, let's get real. Screen time gets a bad rap, but here's the deal. It's not about how much time you spend on your phone, it's about what you're doing with it. So, what exactly is productive screen time? Let's break it down. Productive screen time is time spent on activities that actually add value to your life. Think about it like this. What are the things you've always wanted to do but haven't made time for? Maybe it's finally learning a skill, reigniting a hobby, or connecting with someone you care about. Let me ask you this. If you could turn 15 minutes of scrolling into something meaningful, what would you do with it? Would you learn a new language? Try cooking that recipe you saved weeks ago? Or finally text that friend you've been meaning to catch up with? Here are a few ways you can make your screen time work for you. Let's say you've always wanted to play an instrument. You can find free tutorials on YouTube or use apps like Simply Guitar to get started. Even 10 minutes a day adds up. Always wanted to try photography? Use your phone to learn editing techniques or take an online class. The same goes for cooking, drawing, or fitness. You've got a world of resources at your fingertips. Use video calls or messaging apps to actually deepen your relationships. Instead of just liking a post, call someone you haven't talked to in a while and catch up properly. Apps like Notion or Trello can help you stay on top of personal projects, whether it's fitness goals, work tasks, or even family planning. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was stuck in the same habit a lot of us have, mindlessly scrolling at night. One day I thought, what if I used that time differently? So I downloaded an app to learn Spanish, just 15 minutes a day. And you know what? After a couple of months, I was actually having basic conversations. That tiny shift made me realize just how much I could do with a little intentionality. And it started with my phone. So here's your turn. Ask yourself this. What's one way my phone could actually improve my life? Is there a skill you've been putting off? A relationship you want to strengthen? Write it down. Because once you get clear on your goals, your screen time stops feeling like wasted time and starts feeling like an investment in yourself. You don't need to overhaul your entire screen time routine overnight. Start small. Pick one thing. Maybe it's signing up for an online course or spending 10 minutes exploring a new hobby. The key is to start. You'll be amazed at how those small steps add up. Let's be honest, how many times have you picked up your phone just to check something, and suddenly 30 minutes are gone? It's like your thumb has a mind of its own, right? But here's the thing, mindless scrolling isn't random. These moments don't just happen out of nowhere. There's always something driving it. We all have triggers, those little moments or feelings that push us toward picking up our phones and start scrolling mindlessly. And until we notice what those triggers are, they keep happening again and again. Let's talk about some of the most common triggers. Maybe you recognize one of these in yourself. Boredom. You're sitting there with nothing to do, so you grab your phone to fill the time. And before you know it, you're knee-deep in memes or watching a raccoon steal someone's cat food. Stress or overwhelm. When life feels too heavy, it's easy to escape into your phone. You tell yourself, I'll just take a break. But that break turns into a spiral of videos and articles. Social pressure. Maybe you're checking notifications because you don't want to feel left out. Or you're at a party, feeling awkward, and your phone becomes your safety net. Sound familiar? It's so easy to just react to these triggers, but the real power comes when we start noticing them. Once you know your triggers, you can start to take control. And the best way to figure out what's driving your scrolling? Track it. The first step in breaking free from mindless scrolling is recognizing when it happens. I want to encourage you to keep a little journal or even jot down notes on your phone. The next time you find yourself scrolling without purpose, pause for a moment and ask yourself 3 simple questions. What am I feeling right now? Why did I grab my phone? What could I do instead? You don't have to write it down if that feels like too much work. Even just noticing your patterns can be a game changer. Just ask yourself these questions in the moment. You might find that your phone is the way you cope with stress or boredom, or maybe you just want to fit in with everyone else. It's not about judging yourself, it's about noticing these patterns so you can make more intentional choices. So once you've noticed your triggers, here's the good news. You don't have to just sit there and scroll. Here's what I mean. For boredom, if you're scrolling because you're bored, try something new. Pick up a book, go for a walk, or use your phone to learn a quick skill. Even 5 minutes can make a difference. For stress, instead of diving into social media, take a few deep breaths, stretch, or even use your phone for something calming, like a meditation app. For social pressure, when you feel the urge to check social media to stay in the loop, instead, turn off notifications for a bit, or put your phone on Do Not Disturb and enjoy the moment around you. Here's a quick challenge for you. The next time you feel the urge to scroll, pause. Don't grab your phone right away. Ask yourself, what am I really looking for right now? Is it entertainment, comfort, connection? Once you know what you need, think about how else you could get it. Something more meaningful than another endless scroll. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. We all have moments of mindless scrolling. You're not going to catch every trigger, and that's okay. But every time you choose to be intentional instead of automatic, you're taking back control. And that feels so good. The goal is awareness, not perfection. Once you know your triggers, you've taken the first step in taking back control of your time. It's all about making small shifts, one choice at a time. You don't have to eliminate screen time entirely. Just use it in a way that serves you, and your life will thank you for it. You know that feeling when you're scrolling on your phone and you look up and realize you've missed something important? Maybe it's your kids playing, a moment with your partner, or even just some peace and quiet you needed for yourself. It's tough, right? You're there physically, but your mind's somewhere else. So let me ask you this. What if your screen time didn't take you away from those moments, but actually helped you create more of them? That's the beauty of balance. It's not about giving up your phone. It's about making sure your digital time and real life work together. Our phones can be amazing tools, but here's the key. They should complement your real life, not replace it. Think of your phone as a bridge, not a barrier. It's there to help you grow, connect, and experience, not pull you away from what really matters. So, what would your life look like if your phone became part of the solution, not the problem? Maybe it's using it to find a recipe for family dinner, plan a weekend hike, or finally schedule that game night you've been meaning to have. Let me share a few simple ways to create balance between your screen time and your real life. Create phone-free zones. Start small. Designate places like the dinner table or bedroom as phone-free zones. You'll be amazed how much more present you feel without your phone next to you. Use your phone to inspire real-life activities. Need ideas for quality time? Use your phone to look up local events, explore a new hobby, or find a nearby trail for a family hike. Set boundaries. Around screen time, try setting limits for when and how you use your phone. Maybe it's putting it away an hour before bed, or turning on Do Not Disturb during family time. Let me tell you about one of my favorite moments with my kids. And yes, it started with my phone. A while ago, I was sitting on the couch scrolling like usual while my kids were playing in the other room. Then it hit me. I could use this time differently. So I looked up a recipe for cookies, walked into the kitchen, and said, "Who wants to bake with me?" That night, my kids said it was the most fun they'd had in weeks. And you know what? It all started with my phone, but it ended with a memory we'll never forget. So let me ask you, what's one small change you can make today to balance your screen time with your real life? Maybe it's putting your phone down during dinner, or maybe it's using it to plan an activity you've been meaning to do. The choice is yours, but it starts with intention. When you create balance, something amazing happens. Your phone stops being a distraction and becomes a tool to enhance your life. That's the kind of screen time you deserve. All right, we've talked about the why behind productive screen time. Now let's get into the how. Because if you're anything like me, you've probably wondered, okay, I get it, but what do I actually do to make this work? Let's break it down into simple, actionable steps you can start today. The first step is to get clear on what productive screen time looks like for you. Ask yourself, what's something I've always wanted to learn or improve? Maybe it's a skill you've been putting off, like learning a language or practicing mindfulness. Or maybe it's spending more intentional time connecting with the people you care about. Take a moment to write it down. When you have a clear goal, your phone stops being a distraction and starts being a tool for growth. Here's the trick. Treat your productive screen time like an important appointment. Block out specific times in your day, even just 10 or 15 minutes, to focus on your goal. When it's planned, you're more likely to stick with it and less likely to get sucked into the endless scroll. Think of it like setting time aside for yourself, because that's exactly what it is. Here's a fun challenge. Start tracking how you're using your screen time. Most phones have built-in tools to show you where your time is going. Take a look. Are you spending more time on TikTok than on learning something new? No judgment, just awareness. When you start tracking your progress, it feels less like a chore and more like a game. And you'll be surprised how motivating it is to see those productive minutes add up. This is where the magic happens. Your phone isn't just for learning, it's also a gateway to real-life experiences. Let your productive screen time inspire you to take action offline. Maybe you find a new recipe and cook with your family, or use a fitness app to plan a weekend hike. When you turn what you've learned online into meaningful moments offline, your phone becomes a tool for connection and growth, not just entertainment. Let's get one thing straight. You're not going to get this perfect. And that's okay. Some days you'll scroll longer than you planned, or you'll binge that series you've been meaning to watch. It happens to all of us. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Celebrate the small wins, like spending 10 extra minutes learning something new, or calling a friend instead of scrolling. Every step counts. Here's my challenge for you. Tonight, pick one goal, just one, and set a timer for 10 minutes. Use that time to do something productive with your phone. Maybe it's learning a skill, planning a fun activity, or reconnecting with someone you've been meaning to call. Just 10 minutes. See how it feels. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one way you've turned your screen time into something meaningful? Share it in the comments. I can't wait to hear your ideas. At the end of the day, your phone isn't just a distraction, it's an opportunity. When you use it with intention, it can help you grow, connect, and even find more joy in your life. So let's stop thinking about screen time as the enemy and start seeing it as a tool to build the life you want. You've got this. One intentional choice at a time. You're turning your screen time into something that works for you. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself something. How is my screen time really affecting my life? Not just in terms of the hours you spend, but the way it makes you feel. Is it helping you grow, connect, or create? Or is it leaving you feeling stuck and drained? The truth is, your phone can be so much more than a distraction. It can be a bridge to the life you want, if you choose to use it that way. But only you can decide how you'll make that shift. Picture this. What if your phone became the reason you finally learned to play that instrument you've been dreaming about? Or the reason you reconnected with an old friend who truly gets you? What if it helped you plan moments that turned into lifelong memories with your family? Sounds pretty great, doesn't it? But here's the thing. It's all up to you. The possibilities are endless if you start using your screen time intentionally. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What if I mess up? Here's the thing, you will. We all do. Some days you'll scroll longer than you planned, and that's okay. This isn't about being perfect. It's about noticing the small wins. Maybe you spent 5 minutes today watching a tutorial instead of scrolling through memes. Or maybe you used your phone to send a heartfelt message to someone you've been meaning to check in on. Those small moments, they matter. They add up. Here's my challenge for you. Take a moment, just a few minutes, to think about what you want your screen time to look like. What's one small change you could make today? Is it setting aside 15 minutes to learn something new? Using your phone to schedule a call with a loved one? Or maybe even putting it down completely to just be present? You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Just take one intentional step. And once you see how good that feels, take another. Your phone doesn't have to be the thing that steals your time. It can be the thing that helps you create the life you want. But it all starts with one question. How will you choose to use it today? You've got this, and I can't wait to hear what you create. All right, so now you've got the tools to turn your screen time into something truly meaningful. Something that helps you grow, connect, and thrive. But let me ask you this. What happens if we keep ignoring the bigger picture? Because here's the thing. Using your phone intentionally is a great start. But if we're not also taking care of what's going on inside, well, that's when the cracks start to show. You've probably felt it before. The stress piling up, the burnout creeping in, and the people who rely on you, they feel it too. Here's a question for you to think about. What's the cost of ignoring your mental health? Not just for you, but for the people you care about most. Your kids, your partner, your friends. How long can you keep pouring from an empty cup? I get it, life gets busy. And sometimes it feels like there's no time to focus on yourself. But what if I told you that taking care of your mental health isn't just important, it's essential. Not just for you, but for everyone who's counting on you. If this is something you've been feeling, if you've ever wondered what happens when you keep putting your own well-being on the back burner, then I've got the perfect next step for you. In our next video, we're diving into the hidden consequences of neglecting your mental health. And more importantly, what you can do to take it back. It's not just about you, it's about being the best version of yourself for the people who matter most. Because taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. I'll see you there.